Hey guys, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle, coming to you on a rather beautiful Sunday, Friday evening. It's about 8 o'clock at night. I'm sitting downstairs because my wife's away at a pal's house and my daughter is in Amsterdam, so I thought just for a wee bit of change, rather than cooping myself up in my games room where it's all hot and clammy, I would just sit downstairs, so a bit of company with the two dogs sitting here. So yeah, I hope you've all had a nice week. I've had an excellent week. As I mentioned in last week's waffle, my daughter is away to Amsterdam with the school. She comes back tomorrow. I'm going to say I'm looking forward to seeing her. She's a pain in the arse half the time, but you know, you do miss your kids. That's the longest she's been away from us since she was born actually, so definitely looking forward to getting her back tomorrow. So we decided to take the opportunity, I say we, my wife and myself, we drove up to a place called Inverary up in the west coast of Scotland. Stayed overnight there. We went to Inverary Jail, which is a jail built about 200 years ago to house various felons and whatnot. And then we drove up on the Monday, stayed the Monday night. Then on the Tuesday, about 8 o'clock in the morning, we heard like sirens, police car sirens going on. We thought that doesn't sound good. So then when we had a bit of breakfast on the Tuesday morning, we started to head up towards Oban, the A85 it is, the road. And we'd been going for about, I don't know, 3/4 of an hour. Then we got to the turning on the A85 to turn left to Oban, and it was closed. Apparently it had been quite a bad accident. Well, I've since heard it was 2 cars involved, and I don't think there was any fatalities, but the road was closed both ways for quite a long time. So eventually got to Oban, I says on the Tuesday about 3 o'clock. We just dithered about, did bits and pieces. The weather wasn't that great. On the Tuesday. We went up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This was the Wednesday, that's right. Wednesday, we went across we got the ferry from Oban to the Isle of Mull, and then from there we got a bus tour from one side of the island across to Iona, or to one side of the island, then we got a ferry across to Iona. Iona's a very religious kind of island. You know, the monks were there many hundreds of years ago. It's a lovely, tranquil place. I mean, if you ever get the opportunity to come to Scotland, you really need to check out these islands. They're just gorgeous. Weather-wise, it was just unbelievable. It was beautiful on the Wednesday, really nice. And then on the Thursday, what did we do? That was us. We came back down the road. We came back down the road yesterday. And we go home yesterday afternoon. So it's been a complete non-gaming few days. It's been excellent actually, just to get away. Well, when I say no internet, that's not entirely true. The hotel had Wi-Fi. You know, it's amazing how much you do miss being offline. You know, but like I said, we did have the internet. But yeah, it was a really nice break. I'm saying there were no games. I did take along my NVIDIA Shield Portable, which has got all these systems on it, so I was playing a bit of that, at night time as well. So that was all good. So I've got to say, I should really call this a Friday Waffle Light, because it's a very light Friday Waffle. I have got nothing to talk about, and I've only got 2 sets of questions, so it's going to be a shorter than usual one. Which is probably not a bad thing, because you must have better things to do than sit and listen to me talking nonsense. You should be outside enjoying the weather, just like your mum and dad used to say to you. You should get out and get a bit of fresh air, and that's very true. Trying to think, I just to try and a bit of stocking filler. I mean, just to try and fill up the waffle a wee bit. I'm going to talk about my experiences and memories of playing 8-bit games with my mates back in the day, especially sort of like multiplayer games. Now, back in, when would it be, 1983 I think I was still at school. I got my Commodore 64, and there was a guy, Robert. He was one of these guys. He was a bit of a loner at school, and he wasn't a particularly nice person. But you would kind of. I used to talk to him, whatever, and I happened to mention I had a computer, and he's like, "Oh, I would love to come and see that." Now, as you know, guys, when you get some tech, whether it's now or whether it was back in 1983, a big part of the appeal is being able to share tech. Is, I suppose, in some respects, it's almost like you want to show it off. You want people to say, "That's brilliant," because they think, well, you've got, that's mine. You want people to kind of praise it and see how wonderful it is. So Robert came along. I invited him down to the house, and we played. What did we play? We played Daley Thompson's Decathlon for quite a while. We also played. There's a snooker game which I have done possibly one of the worst games ever. Called it's just called Snooker by a company called Visions Software, and it's bloody awful, absolutely awful. We played that for a bit, but then there was two games that just clicked with both of us. Now the first one, it was a fruit machine simulator, very very basic. It was called Super Fruit. I think it was actually, I'm sure it was written by Commodore. I think it was a Commodore title. It was the company Commodore wrote this. I'll have a look for it. I'll actually need to do a Why I Love, because it was a game that played a big part in me getting into computers. But this fruit machine simulator, it was very basic. You put money in, you had hold, and I think you had nudges, and that was it. There was no other features in it. But this guy Robert, he looked kind of older than he was. He used to go to the pub. I mean, I would only be 16. I wasn't interested in drinking or anything like that at all. He used to go to the pub, and he was kind of like he was more grown up than me, certainly. And he used to, I think he was addicted to fruit machines. So when he heard that I had this fruit machine simulator, he came down to the house, and it absolutely clicked with the pair of us. It actually became a bit of an addiction with us. We would sit and just play it and play it and play it and play it, and we would try and just get as much money as we could. Now, it sounds utterly pointless, because a fruit machine simulator on a computer it's a waste of time. The whole point of a fruit machine is to make money, is to win money. Obviously, you're not going to get that if you're playing a computer game, but there was just something about it that clicked with us, and we would take it in turns. We would maybe each have, like, I don't know, £1 each, I think it was 10 pence a shot. We would take it in turns, maybe like you play the first £5 and Robert would play the next 5, and so on, and just basically see how much we could win. So we played that game for an awfully long time. But the game that really cemented it for us was a game which I've done a video of. I'll put a wee link up there. Now, I know I'm terrible for saying I'm going to put links up, then I completely forget about it. I think I had one last week, but I was going to put a link to something. I can't even remember what it was, that. But the game that just it gelled us both was, what was it called? Hustler, by Bubble Bus Software. Now, Hustler was an emulation, or a simulation I should say, of Robert's other passion, which was pool. I mean, he used to go to a pub, he used to play the fruit machines, and he used to play pool. So we started playing this game, and the graphics were shit. The balls weren't even round, the balls were more squarey looking. There was a 2-player game. You could vary the strength, but there was no... Could you put bottom? I think you could put like spin, you could put bottom, or you could put like top spin, whatever, on the ball. But it really didn't affect. In fact, you know what? You couldn't put any spin in it. No, all you could do was line up the cursor where you wanted the white ball to go, and then there was a wee power meter that just constantly moved, up and down, and you had to basically press the fire button to stop it where you wanted it. So it was as basic as you could possibly get. But you know what? It clicked. It absolutely clicked. To the point that Robert would come down to the house, maybe 10 o'clock and whatever, 10 o'clock one night, and we would sit up and we would play this game through the night till maybe 2, 3 in the morning. We would play first to 100 games. It was pretty mental. But the funny thing is, Robert wasn't a particularly nice person. I'll tell you a wee story about Robert. When he first came to the house, in fact, it might have been later on because I think I probably ditched him by that point. The first 2 computer games that I ever owned were 2 games. One was called Crazy Kong, another one was called Frogger, both by Interceptor Software. And they were garbage. Frogger was alright. But I was looking for the games one day and I couldn't find them. Then I asked Robert, I says, have you seen these 2 games? No, and he completely denied he'd even seen them. And at that point I was working in this shop called Woolco, and one of my other friends worked in the computer department of Woolco, and he told me that Robert had come in with 2 games. One was Frogger and one was called Crazy Kong. And he says he didn't like them or they didn't work and couldn't get a refund. So they basically refunded him the money and Robert kept the money. So what he'd actually done, he'd stolen my 2 games and he took them back and got the money back for them, even though I didn't even buy them from Wilco. So that was when I found out. He completely denied it. He completely and utterly denied it. But that was the end of our friendship. But before that happened, although Robert was never a particularly nice person, he had this addiction, this thing for these 2 games, and we shared that common interest. And for that, I don't know how long it was. It was probably only a matter of weeks. Back in 1983, we were kind of inseparable. I would have other friends down during the day, and then Robert would come down to the house at night time, and we would just sit together and we'd play this, and it became really, really competitive. I wanted him to miss and he wanted me to miss. It became really intense, but it was always great fun. But there was an underlying hatred almost. I didn't like him, I don't think he particularly liked me, but I had a computer and he wanted to play it, and I was happy to allow him into my house to play the game. But yeah, that was 2-player stuff. It's I was going to say it's very best, but it's most competitive. Other examples of 2-player stuff. My mate, this wasn't even a 2-player game as such. My mate Don, Don and I grew up together, from primary school right up through high school, and Don had a Commodore 64, as obviously I did as well, and I had got Football Manager, and I said to Don, I was telling Don how brilliant this game was. So Don came down one night and we loaded up Football Manager, and we literally we played it right through the night, just playing this game until I think eventually we got into Division 1, and I think we won Division 1, so that we kind of completed the game almost. But again, it was one of these quite intense things. We just stayed up all night, and what we discovered a slight kind of, I wouldn't say it was a cheat, well it was a cheat of sorts. Basically we're exploiting a bug in the game. If you put a player up for sale and a team offered you money and you turned it down, the player automatically became injured. And then for a week he couldn't play, and then after that week he would go up to 100% strength. So what we used to do is we used to put every player up for sale, and just constantly you would get a club offering money for the player, and you just turn it down and then you get perfect strength. So it basically meant, or it was fitness I should say, it basically meant that we were able to build our team up to like 100% fitness, and you know, that certainly made the game a lot easier. But yeah, again, for you know, that one night back in probably 1984, I think it might have been 85, I can't remember when it was, Don and I, we just stayed up all night and played it. We did the same with Elite. You know, there was something about some of these games, it was just so addictive, and when you kind of sussed out how to play it, you know, it became hard to put down. And so yeah, I mean, I used to pull these overnighters playing games like that, you know, pretty mental. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've done that. I think I'm getting too old for overnighters. But anyway, listen, that's I don't have anything else to really talk about, guys. Like I said, I've been away all week, so I'm just going to batter straight into the questions. First up, Batman. Possible subject for a Friday Waffle: joystick wagglers, Daley Thompson, combat school, hypersports. Is this a genre worth reviving? You know what, Bat? I mean, I've made no secret, I adored joystick wagglers. For different reasons. I loved the fact that it was a game that really relied on... It was a physical... You needed to be physically good at the game. You know, it wasn't about quick movements. Well, it was, I suppose, but it was like stamina and just ability to be able to waggle that joystick as quickly as you possibly could. And I loved that. I loved the fact that it was a physical game. You know, I really enjoyed that. The second part was playing these games against, you know, your pals. So it literally was, I mean, I've still got brilliant memories of playing. I mean, my favourite joystick waggler in the C64 would have to be Activision Decathlon. It was quite basic looking. The graphics, there weren't really any kind of frills or anything about it at all, but it just played so damned well. You know, it was the amount of effort you put into waggling that joystick was absolutely accurate as to how well you performed in the game. The problem with Daley Thompson's Decathlon was it wasn't accurate. You could be waggling the joystick hammer and tong, and it never felt like it was representing the effort you were putting in wasn't represented by the game character. So that's why I always preferred Activision Decathlon. But me and one of my mates, James, I mean, it sounds odd now, but we'd literally be sitting there with our t-shirts on. Sometimes it got so warm, you'd end up stripping off, and you were just giving it absolute laldy with this joystick. I mean, my mum would walk in a few times to make us a cup of tea, and I think she wondered what the hell was going on. But it was so competitive. You know, we pushed each other so far, trying to, if one person got a good time, the other person absolutely had to try and beat it. So yeah, I love joystick wagglers, I really do. I mean, I love track and field, although that's kind of button mashing. But I would absolutely love them to see, I'd love them to bring out, you know, a definitive, I should say, joystick waggler Olympics game. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to happen. Any sports game that comes out now, it's usually, you know, you've got to press a button, you've got to press a joystick in a certain direction, in a certain way. You know, it's all about timing and that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. I think joystick wagglers, they're a basic game. You know, the mechanics of the game is just waggling your joystick. Gamepads don't lend themselves well to these kind of games. Yeah, you could absolutely use the buttons, sort of like track and field, or hypersports on a, you know, you could use them in a PS4 controller, no problem at all. But I think they've had their day. I don't see that genre ever coming back. I think you will get indie games that maybe support joystick waggling, but I would love, as much as I'd love to see them coming back, I don't think we're going to see it. Things have moved on so much now. I mean, even, I was going to say basic platformers, you do get kind of these indie game platformers. That might be the only way we'll see a joystick waggler game come back. But I think things have moved on. The market has become more sophisticated. I don't think this generation would really appreciate what a joystick waggler was. So as much as I'd love to see it back, I don't see it happen, unfortunately. Sideways, side-scrolling beat 'em ups. Why don't we see these games anymore? Again, I think it's just things have moved on. I mean, you know, back in 1985, a Spectrum, a Commodore 64, an Amstrad, BBC, Atari, whatever it was, whatever computer you had, it was new, it was cutting edge, it was exciting. And then obviously, you know, games, sideways scrolling beat 'em ups, things like, what do you call it, Renegade and Double Dragon, and these games, they came along in arcades, and, you know, we got to play versions on our home systems, or, you know, if you're lucky enough to live near an arcade, you played the arcade games. But again, I just think that things have changed so much. I mean, look at what we're playing nowadays. I mean, even in just 30 years, look where we've gone. Some of the mechanics of games now. I mean, you couldn't imagine that we'd be playing games. The games that we're playing now, you couldn't imagine they were even possible in your wildest dreams. You know, 20, 30 years ago. Excuse me. I was drinking my juice. Lovely. Yeah, you just couldn't, you know, compare like pole position. I mean, look at, I don't know, Grand Theft Auto, I don't know, Drive Club, any of these games, Project Gotham Racing, whatever. It's just incredible where we've come. Look at a Call of Duty game now. You know, it's photorealistic. That is what people want to play. It's not what I want to play, but it's what the majority. It's what the target market. The target market for video games, I don't know. I would imagine it's probably about, I don't know, 16 to 35 years old. They want things like Call of Duty, Halo, all these games, Uncharted. They don't want to play sideways beat 'em ups. You know, I suppose it's. I can kind of understand where people come from. I mean, I don't watch many films. My wife will quite happily sit on a Saturday afternoon and watch some black and white film. And I'll be like, what on earth are you actually watching? Oh, I'm watching some Doris Day film. She'll quite happily sit and watch that. And I look at it and I think, well, it's quite cringeworthy, you know, the acting, whatever it is. And I don't want to look at it. I'm not interested in, you know, wasting time watching it. Now, I know that these films are probably amazing. I mean, like, one of my favourite black and white films, It's a Wonderful World, you know, James Stewart. Then you've got, I mean, Laurel and Hardy, who I happen to think are the finest comedians, bar none. Still watch them to this day, think they're amazing, you know, it hasn't dated at all. But the point I'm trying to make is, I would look at an old film or you know, my daughter, if I asked her to watch Gone with the Wind, she would not be remotely interested. She'd look at it and think, that looks terrible, and she would just move on. And it's the same way, I think, a computer game. You know, somebody my daughter's age would look at, you know, Final Fight and just think, you know, it's not three-dimensional, it's basic looking, she's got no interest. So again, I think because the target market generally isn't interested in these games, I don't think we're ever going to see, you know, I don't think that genre I should say, is ever going to make a comeback. Yeah, you'll get your indie games making games like that, but I don't think we'll ever see a return to the beat 'em ups. I think it's just the way the market's going back, you know. Was Streets of Rage 2 so good that they just couldn't beat it? What's the use of? I've got to say, I've not really played the Streets of Rage games at all. I've got them on the Mega Drive. I mean, I've got an EverDrive, so I've got access to all of them. I've played the first one briefly, and again, it's an amazing game. It's, you know, some people say it's better than Street Fight Street Fight, where did that come from? Better than Final Fight. I do know that the second one is generally regarded as the best beat 'em up. I mean, obviously you're saying there that, you know, they couldn't. Was it so good they couldn't beat it? All right, sorry, I'm sorry, I'm misunderstanding your question. But what I'm thinking you're saying is why didn't they bring out another one? But yeah, possibly. I think you know, companies probably thinking, well, what can we really do? I mean, if people want to play a sideways scrolling beat 'em up, they can go and get a Mega Drive. They can play Streets of Rage. I think Streets of Rage 2, or certainly the first one came out. I think it came out on Xbox 360. You can play Final Fight on a multitude of compilation discs. So yeah, I think they've maybe taken it as far as they can possibly take it in 2-dimensional, and you know, so. But I just think it's a genre of its time. I don't think we'll ever see a return to it. But fortunately for guys like yourself and myself, we can still access all these amazing games on the old hardware. So that keeps me happy anyway. So anyway, as usual, Bat, thank you very much for your questions, mate. Always appreciate it. And the only other questions I've got are from Kevin down the rabbit hole. Thank you, Kev. For the Friday Waffle, hi Alan, do you remember that fad in the 90s of see-through consoles and handhelds? Did you collect any of these, or were you like me and thought the design was silly looking? Absolutely spot on, Kev. I'm glad I wasn't the only one that thought they looked rubbish. I mean, to me, the workings of a portable, it should be hidden away because it's not particularly nice to look at. I just want the thing to work. And so yeah, as you say, there was see-through Game Boys, and I think, did you not even get an Xbox and whatever? Even PCs now, they have their big fans and their big lights, and they want people to see inside them. But yeah, I was never a fan of see-through consoles. I just thought they looked daft. I would much rather have all the wires and the hidden stuff, or all the workings hidden away, you know. So yeah, I'm 100% with you, Kev. I never really got that. I know a few of my friends thought they looked quite cool, but I just never saw the appeal myself. Secondly, can you clarify something about the spectrum for me? An American podcast I was listening to referred to a game on what they referred to as the Sinclair spectrum. I'm guessing they meant the ZX spectrum, but did not know the correct way to pronounce the letter Z, so they dropped it. But there was also the Sinclair QL, the Timex Sinclair, and even the ZX80. So I'm confused if these yanks might mean something other than the ZX Spectrum when they use the phrase Sinclair Spectrum. Well, no, Kev. I mean, Sinclair was the company that made them. The ZX Spectrum was the name of the little rubber keyed computer you're talking about. Sinclair also made the QL, so it was called the Sinclair QL. It wasn't the ZX QL, it was the Sinclair QL. There was a Sinclair ZX80, then the ZX81 as well. But yeah, it was a Sinclair ZX Spectrum. That's its kind of full name. Timex, I believe Timex made, I think they manufactured the Spectrum in other countries, and so it may have been called the Timex Spectrum. I don't know what it was called exactly, but yeah, the Timex, I think they were licensed to actually sell the Spectrum abroad. So you will get, I don't know the official name, it would be the ZX Spectrums. It would probably be the Timex ZX Spectrum, but Sinclair is the company that made them, and the little rubber keyed 48K thing you're talking about is called the ZX Spectrum. Yeah. And the last one, this is a weird one. Someone on YouTube joked that the Commodore 64 has a distinctive smell. It's been a long time since I've been close enough to confirm this, but is it true? If you were blindfolded, can you identify any of your machines from their smell? I can't. I mean, my Commodore 64 is upstairs, so I'll see if I can clarify it. If it does indeed smell, I think it. You know, from memory, I'm sure it did have a smell. but that may have just been the plastic. I don't know whether would I be able to differentiate that from a Commodore Amiga and an Atari ST. Probably not. I wouldn't have thought so. But yeah, I do remember. You know, it was like a lot of kind of tech. It did have a quite a distinct smell. Whether that's faded over time, I don't know. But I'll have a sniff and let you know, Kev. So yeah, and listen, that is it. That is it for me. I do apologise about a very, very short Friday Waffle. Slightly disappointing in the number of questions, guys. As I've said before, if you want the Friday Waffle to continue, I do need questions. Apologies if I've missed any, but what to do if you've got any questions for next week's, please put them in the comment section below this video. Don't put them anywhere else, because I mean, although I do always try and reply to comments, I always make a point to, a couple of times a week going through all the comments, and I will always reply. I always make a point of replying, but it might be that I miss a question and I don't copy and paste it across to my what do you call it? Across to my list to actually go over. But please, guys, please give me some questions or some topics for next week, because like I said, if I don't have any, it just means there won't be a Friday Waffle, and I might have to think about kind of putting it to bed for a wee while until maybe things change. I know a lot of people do quite enjoy the Friday Waffle, so if you want it to continue, you need to give me support, guys. You need to keep feeding me stuff, topics, anything at all, preferably related to video games. Let me know. But yeah, that is kind of it. So it's just one little gripe. There's I'm talking about replying to comments. I've noticed there are some YouTubers who don't reply to comments, and I'm talking from experience because I've posted a few comments in some of their videos, and they're not particularly big channels. They're about the same size as me. They're not huge. I mean, I totally understand why, not a company, somebody who's got tens of thousands of comments, they can't possibly reply to every single one, so I totally get that. But when you've got a channel that's quite small, I always think that it's just decency to reply to or to even just acknowledge a comment. I mean, sometimes somebody will make a statement about, I'll maybe say about, I don't know why the Atari ST version of Final Fight is jerky. And then somebody will come in and say it's jerky because blah 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 blah, and they'll give me a reason, and they're not actually asking me they're not asking a question, but I'll always put a wee comment along the lines of thanks for the information, it's always great to hear that, or thanks for replying, thank you for the whatever. It's basically you're acknowledging them. If somebody takes the time to ask you a question or to post a comment, I just think it's common courtesy to acknowledge people replying to comments, But it's not. But this is not directed at any one channel. It's just something in the past that I've noticed. You maybe ask a question and it's a wee bit disappointing you don't get any reply. But anyway, listen, that is it. I'm going to draw this one to a close. I've still got another couple of videos that I've already prepared to get put out. I will have to try and get some more made up over the weekend and get things back to normal now that I'm back from my holly bags, back to work on Monday, which I can't wait for, obviously. I did get something I've been looking forward to getting for quite a long time. It arrived today and I've been playing it, so I'm not going to mention what it is at the moment. I'm going to be doing a let's look at, or Main Meister looks at video of this thing in action. So anyway, guys, it just remains for me to say thank you very much for all your continued support, your feedback, your likes, your dislikes, your subs, anyone that's just new to the channel. There's been quite a few new people giving me a lot of comments. I really do appreciate it. I can't thank you enough for taking time you know, A, to watch the channel, and B, taking time to actually post in comments, because that's just awesome. That is what makes this making a video thing worthwhile. But finally, guys, all I want to say is thank you very much for watching.